Okay, so this video is about not just boomerism, but how I ended up becoming homeless. I don't want to be a Tim Dillon hack and hack, no pun intended, on the boomers too much because I don't want to be a Tim Dillon hack. I just want to be me. I just want to be me. But anyway, I wasn't supposed to end up homeless like this, like I am right now, living in a tent. What was supposed to happen is moving back to New Jersey from Florida. I was supposed to live with my dad, who has dementia. Now, my dad, his whole life has been like boomerism distilled. Like, if you took everything about boomerism and distilled it into a single drop, that would be my dad. But anyway, now my dad has dementia. So I was going to live with my dad in his like little unit in an active adult community, and I was going to live there and take care of him, help him take his medication, make sure he eats, make sure he doesn't leave the house at 4 a.m. You know, the usual stuff when you're taking care of a relative who has dementia. So I was like, well, that sounds extremely depressing considering the life I had in Florida, living in a beautiful home and enjoying the sun every morning and sipping my coffee slowly and basically feeling like the lord of my domain in paradise, feeling like a king, like a sultan, like an Arab sheik. So to go from that life that was really happy to living in my dad's spare bedroom in his active adult community and helping him with his pills and his meals and not breaking out of the house at 4 a.m, that sounded extremely depressing compared to what I had. But at the same time, I could also, hide behind the whole martyr thing and say, well, and, for myself, I could feel like a martyr for myself. So I wouldn't feel so bad staying there, rent free or whatever. I'd be helping my dad in the final years of his life. And I was like, okay, well, my future looks bleak, but at least I'll be doing something good. Now, does my dad deserve it? Probably, maybe. I mean, he was always kind of a dick. He was mostly a dick growing up. He wasn't as bad as my mom. He was mostly a dick, but he did a lot of things for me, and he was always very generous toward me. So, and he helped me out a lot when I was at different times when I was struggling. He wasn't there emotionally, but he could be there financially and in other ways. He showed support in other ways. So I'm like, well, maybe if the scales are not balanced, this will balance the scales a bit more, and then we'll be even. I'll take care of him in the final years of his life, and we'll be even. So this is what I was going to do, but the problem is that my dad doesn't own his unit. It's owned by his ex-girlfriend. And the reason it's in his ex-girlfriend's name. And the reason why is because he was trying to hide money from my rapacious mother, who, most mothers would die for their sons. But if I died, my mother would just steal the fillings out of my mouth, the few fillings that I have. So he was trying to hide money from her, so he put this unit in this active adult community in his ex-girlfriend's name. Now, I say ex-girlfriend. She broke up with him right before his dementia really set in. And the reason she broke up with him was because she said he was abusive. Now, I know boomer women are dumb. First of all, my dad is like catnip to boomer women because he is boomerism distilled. And he's not even a good-looking man. He looks like Don Knotts from the Andy Griffith Show. But because he is boomerism distilled, he is catnip to boomer women. Boomer women fall at his feet. So anyway, his boomer girlfriend left him because after 20-something years, because she said that he was abusive. And I'm like, no shit. I'm like, it took you like 23 years to figure out that he's abusive. I mean, his favorite, names for her were fucking moron and fucking idiot. And it took you 23 years? Look, I'm not trying to be some, cucked advocate for battered women. But if somebody's calling you a fucking idiot and a fucking moron, and not even as a joke, he meant it. He meant it. When he called her a fucking idiot and a fucking moron, he meant it. He wasn't being affectionate. So I'm like, you're such a dumb boomer woman. It took you 23 years to leave him after concert. I remember one time I was with my dad in the car, and the car broke down. and he called his girlfriend to come help him. Called his boomer girlfriend to come help me. Get off your fucking ass and get over here and fucking help me, you fucking idiot. And I'm like, it took 23 years to figure out that maybe he's a little bit abusive, that he's maybe just not nice to the women he dates. He was probably banging her sister too. See, my dad's ex-girlfriend, I guess she was what was hot back in boomer times, because she was just like, kind of a blonde. But, as you get older, your metabolism changes, and she got kind of chunky. But this boomer woman, she had a boomer sister who never got fat. She had the blonde hair and everything, permed back in the 80s, and well into the 2000s, she still had an 80s perm, a blonde 80s perm. And I think he was banging both of them. I don't know if they knew about this or not. And then his boomer ex-girlfriend's sister, she ended up getting all this cancer and shit all over her face. And I'm pretty sure my dad was still going after her, even after she had all that fucking cancer all over her face. So, like banging her and her like face is falling off and shit. Big black chunks of cancer falling off her fucking face as she's getting it. So anyway, she leaves him, and, so that was a little awkward anyway, considering that this apartment, they paid for with my dad's money, as in her name. And, but then, just as I was about to move up from sunny Florida to cold New Jersey, because it's kind of cold even in the summer sometimes, I get this message that I am not to live there. It's, a liability. Now, first of all, I know my dad's boomer ex-girlfriend probably always hated me. I know I might be a little bit like my dad's Hunter Biden or Charlie Sheen, even though I'm not a druggie. But I think she always kind of saw me that way, and I think she always kind of saw me as, basically just a parasite and a fuck-up. So she never really liked me anyway, but now it's because of the liability. He's the only person who should be living in that residence. And that's what NPCs talk about. NPCs use words like liability and talk about things like liabilities. But anyway, I couldn't go over there because of the liability. So I'm homeless, and that's okay, because at least I have privacy here. I wouldn't have had privacy over there. I'd always have to worry about that boomer bitch coming over and making me feel uncomfortable. Here I'm free. Out in the campground, I'm free. I don't support I don't condone anything Ted Kaczynski did, but I can understand why he lived the way he lived. It's like, man, just get me away from people. Not all people. I like good people. I like interesting people. I like quality people. I like beautiful people. I like the right kind of people, but I don't need to be around any fucking NPC who uses words like liability. And that's not the real reason. The real reason is she just thinks I'm fucking Hunter Biden. Not fucking Hunter Biden, but she just thinks I'm Hunter Biden, okay? So, anyway, I mean, like my dad will probably end up dying alone now. This boomer woman will also end up dying alone because, like most boomers, she also failed her children. Her son, she got this job at a university so that her kids could go there for free or discounted or whatever. And her son did get into that university, but then right here in the state of New Jersey, and the state of New Jersey has extremely strict gun laws. He was drunk with his friends one night and decided to stick a gun out the window of his dorm and fire it into the air. Now, although no one was hurt or killed by this drunken act of his, discharging a firearm, even in a place like Florida, which loves guns, discharging a firearm in public, unless it's in a case of self-defense, is actually a very serious crime in New Jersey, and it comes with a mandatory minimum 1 year in prison. So her son went to prison. I think she was afraid he was going to get raped. I don't think he did get raped, because he was in like a real minimum security place where people were just trying to finish off their time and stuff. So I don't think he was sexually violated, but she, of course, was horrified that her son was going to prison. And ever since he's gotten out of prison, he's basically just been floundering and living in the other house that she owns. Floundering. And her daughter, I think lives out on the West Coast and wants absolutely nothing to do with her. She's had children, which means that this boomer lady is a grandmother, but I don't think her daughter wants to see her, and she doesn't want this boomer woman involved in her children's lives. So, and boomer woman doesn't get to be grandma. So, like most boomers, she'll die alone, and, well, that's fine. Not to be too much Tim Dillon, but yeah, it's a pretty awful generation. But I think most generations were awful in their own way. But anyway, that's why I'm here in this campsite, which is so much better than living with my dad anyway. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.